Time for divine shot, KJ events. This real talk's the brand. You understand how we do, my man. I'm on that Friday night Nick shit, dripping in Nick shit. Up in the world most famous arena with the click. That's the conglomerate. The Nick's real talk, the real prominent. I'm a bit like the Omicron variants, dominant. Paying homage to the cat in the chat. That's where it's at. Cause I'm hearing that. You don't care for hyperbole, we straight facts. We interact with the mob, the gods. Up in the pod, the squad, the facade. My entourage be on the job, my energy. Feeling tripping in 10 books. As they cook my game plan, and my brand for loot and pursuit. Going hard like the New York City gritty committee. Cause that's the things we ain't always pretty, but we all stay giddy. But we embrace the fan base like the links, Anthony Mace. We trace the logo when there's hair space that appear like square space. Staring down on the Chase Bridge, look at that Nick City drip. There's 50 decks on the court, looking pretty legit. I say true to the orange and blue. I thought you knew for him a few bars to shine like stars divine to Mount Mars. Nick's real talk. Here we go, let's go.
Nick's real talk right here. I'm representing
Nick's real talk.
right here.
Here we go, let's go.
We here in the building.
Nick's real talk.
Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Nick's real talk.
We here.
Here we go,
in the
let's go.
building. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Salute everybody. Good evening. Knicks Real Talk. Let's get it. We in the building, man. Let's get it popping. Talk about some Knicks tonight, man. We're going to talk about the coach's approach to the 2022-23 season. Talk about some roster moves and just what you expect from the coaches overall, team overall. Get into their stats, what they did last year. We're going to talk about everything, man. So I hope everybody had a great Thursday, man. You're in here with Knicks Real Talk, about to get it popping. Salute to KJ, salute to Shaw Power, the brothers that being later on. Hopefully, man, we get it popping. And but it's good, man. I'm glad to be here with y'all for another night. As always, man, it's always good to get up here with you guys and talk some Knicks basketball. And that's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna get to talk about that. But I'm really excited about going into the season. Got a couple of things to change during the season. We got some players in here, a couple of new players. You know, obviously Jalen Brunson, Hartenstein. Hopefully got some young players coming back that's gonna be a little bit more productive this year. And hopefully some of our main guys can rebound from last year and have a better year like they had the year 2020, 2021. So hopefully we can get it to that level, man. But I'm excited about what's going on moving forward. We just got to see how Tom Thibodeau and all these guys are going to put this thing together, and these coaches make these players get out on the floor and be better than the 37-win team from last year, man. And hopefully get up in a higher echelon of numbers and wins and be able to get into that playoff thing. So I'm really looking forward to what's going to be coming forward and moving ahead with the Knicks, man. Tom Thibodeau got a big job this year. Got a little bit more talent, you know. A little bit more. I mean, you know, at the same time, hopefully they're healthy. So, you know, really right now, he got something to work with. I think the 10-man rotation should be pretty solid. You know, all of them guys been here, done that either 2 years or 3 years now or more. So I think the Knicks should be pretty good in that department. Should be a lot of chemistry, cohesion. They played together, you know, for a couple of years now. Robinson, Randall, RJ, these guys been together for a while. So, you know, they got a little bit of chemistry and commodity. And with Jalen Brunson coming in here, you know, we see if we can make these guys better. See if you're going to add on to it, man, and propel us to be better than we were last year. Got a good, healthy Derrick Rose possibly coming back, which was a big loss last year. So I think we should be a pretty fun team. Let's see how these young guys, Obi Toppin, quickly Grimes, these guys are the ones going to be here. Let's see if they take another step in their career, man, and make, let the like I said, prognosticators think that we only gonna win 30, 39 games. Maybe we could prove them wrong. Stay healthy, and them cats took another step in their career. RJ comes back with a better year, and Julius Randle bounces back. I think we look more than 39, but it all starts with the man who's calling the plays, man, Tom Thibodeau. That's really what this is about. You know, the coach's approach next year. Tom Thibodeau, a winning coach of his career. You know, had a couple of, only about 2 or 3 under 500 seasons. That's because of coming to Minnesota when he was, first taking over there with a bunch of young guys, wasn't ready to play ball like that in NBA Towns, rookie, they young, all them guys, Wiggins, they young, but then he turned them around the next year, got him to the playoffs. So, he definitely got a good winning percentage as a coach. So we'll see, man. We want to see what him and Johnny Bryan and Brunson and Justin Model, all these guys, all the coaches going to do for these players, man, to see if they can really get it popping. But I think it all starts with Tom Thibodeau, though. I'm really dying to see what he's going to do this year with more talent, a little bit more talent, maybe a little bit more healthier. We forgot the year before that he won 41 games. I know he had some ups and downs for the rotation and things of that nature, but you can't question the man's coaching acumen. His acumen is pretty solid. Tom Thibodeau is a good coach, man. He just had one of them years where when he lost players, the other guys, they wasn't ready. They wasn't ready. And the ones that was ready, like Quentin Grimes and the guys they played, but he got injured as well. Cam Reddish got injured as well just when he was starting to get in there. But one thing you can say about Tom Thibodeau, he's a development coach. Them cats got better under Tom Thibodeau. Look at RJ's career under Tom Thibodeau. Look at Obi's second year under Tom Thibodeau. Emmanuel Quickly's year. Look at Grimes' year. They because he got them guys in the gym working, man. And Tom Thibodeau, that type of coach, he's a lifer. That's all he knows is coaching. So, but the coaches go through ups and downs, peaks and valleys. But his peaks been way more than his valleys. Tom Thibodeau and I had probably 6 winning seasons out of 9, probably something of that nature. But the man out of he's been winning. And we got to give him credit for that. I know people don't really like the way it went down the past season with the New York Knicks, but you also got to understand what he had to deal with. You lost some quality players down there in New York last year, man. Derrick Rose was quality, man. That was important to us. Nerlens Noel was important to us. So and it took away from the depth. And when we had a bunch of young guys just got drafted, the 25th pick, the 36-something pick, and the 50-something pick, yeah, you could throw them in there, but that don't mean they was ready. So, and he had to deal with that. But overall, he had some good moments, a lot of good moments, and some not so great good moments for the Knicks last year. But I still think he turned this thing around this year. I think he get us back to where we was at the year before. And now that we done moved on from, the personnel that we had got, but I do believe that he's gonna come in with a better point guard this year. I think you don't have to worry about the Kemba Walker situation right now, as far as hoping that firepower was going to be in the starting lineup, but being that with the situation with the taking out of the rotation and injury, whatever the case may be, he didn't work out for us. But so that played a major impact in the way this team was going to play last year. Kemba Walker, we thought he was going to come in here, at least give us close to a full season, maybe 14 a game or something like that. And it didn't happen. But I think with the acquisition of Jalen Brunson, Tom Thibodeau got a point guard that he's familiar with. I think he's gonna get the best out of him. So let's see if he makes a difference in the way Tom Thibodeau coached this team this year. But I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good challenge this year for Tom Thibodeau. I'll get into that. Yes, indeed, Johnny Davis. I'll break that down, man. And I'll get into that in one of the segments. I definitely answer that question. But just staying on the segment with Tom Thibodeau, he got things to show and prove. He got to show and prove, and I think he will. He's gonna bounce back, just like to hope the team bounce back. And but I'm looking forward to what Tom Thibodeau could do in his third year, with hopefully a group of better players and a little bit more giving over the hump from last year, because last year was just tough. All around. I'll break that down, and we get into the stats. I'll put these stats up about the whole team in general, Tom Thibodeau stats, and what he's about, and we'll do that, man. So let's just dive in right quick and look at what this man has done in his career, and then we get back at it. Obviously, Tom Thibodeau had won 62 games one year, 50 games, 45 games the next year, 48 and 50 with the Bulls. He never lost under 45 games with the Bulls. And that's impressive. Then that year when he took over as president of basketball operations and the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, I think that was like them young Wiggins and all them got rookie year. He that's the first time he lost under. He went under 500, but I could understand because that was a rebuilding team at the time. Then by that next year, he made some adjustments. He won 47 games, lost 35, so he got right back up the way he normally is. So it was just about the process. And that next year, in 2018-19, I think Tibb coached half the season, because that's when he was released from Minnesota, or however it went down. I can't recall whether he was fired or he stepped down. I'm not sure. But that was the year right around that All-Star break that they let him go. So that's why the record's only 19-21, because they let him go before the season was over. And that's not bad. He's only 2 games under 500. But, I guess that they was looking to go somewhere else, man. And ever since then, they didn't get nowhere until just recently. So that just goes to show you how important he was to that organization, because once Tibb left Minnesota, they was abysmal. When he left Chicago Bulls, they was abysmal. You know what I mean? Man coaches, nobody could follow in his footsteps. When he got to Minnesota, the same thing happened until just recently. I forgot the gentleman there now, turned it around after Saunders, and they started making the playoffs, Cat and them. So then he came to the Knicks, after what, 41-31 at the 21-win season, turned it around that year, got us to the fourth seed, went to the playoffs. We didn't, we only won one game there, but we got there. And then after that, lad the past year with just, tough injuries, free throw shooting, and all that good stuff. So it kind of derailed our season a little bit, but he still won 37 games. But and that's pretty much a Tibbs' career, man. He's like almost 120 some games over over 100 for his coaching and career wins and losses and things of that nature. So overall, man, he's a decent coach. Had a tough year last year for New York for the Knicks. But I think that Tom Thibodeau is an excellent coach, man. And he done been amongst the best, that competed against the best, and things of that nature in the NBA. So let's hope that he can come back this year and just give us a better just a better overall coaching experience, and make some adjustments with this team we got here, and get us back to where we need to be, man. And I think we could do that if we come back here and he ready to roll. Bear with me with the screen, yeah, guys. I get that together. I apologize for that. But that's overall Tom Thibodeau's coaching record right there. You see it for yourself. But the man has coached some good basketball. So let's hope that he can come back and rekindle some of that fire and get the Knicks back to where we need to be, which is being back up there, up in a 40-something win column, hopefully in the playoffs, and things of that nature. So if we can do that, then that's what it is. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, I get that right for you. But yeah, man, I'm excited what Tibb got to bring to the table. I really am, and let's hope that he can get these boys back to where they need to be. So that's what it's about right there, man. Him and Johnny Bryant, who, if Tibbs don't really hand out, you never know how things might work out. The Knicks have a bad season. Now, obviously, that I don't think that's going to go to right for him. So it might wind up being that they might let him go, and they do. Then you got Johnny Bryant, who's possible to be the next man up for the Knicks. Not a lot of coaching experience from an assistant's perspective, but he's been around and he got a good basketball mind, and maybe he might be that next guy to step up. You know what I mean? So him and Rick Brunson and all them guys, man, they just got to support Tom Thibodeau and make sure they got their eyes, their ears open for him, and do the things they need to do as coaches and help make his job a little bit more easy this year, which they do anyway. But let's hope we can get back to that the year before last, man, and feel good about the Knicks, man. I think Tom Thibodeau is the right guy to do it. He's been a winner. He done one game, so it's nothing new. And I think he's going to show and prove this year, man. I think he got a better roster. He got a deeper roster, and I just think he's going to come in here and show and prove that, the Knicks is relevant. You know what I mean? So let's see how it goes, man. And then we look at the players we got. We like I said, we still got Julius Randle obviously there, R.J. Barrett, no guys still there, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, all these guys still there. But then you bring in Jalen Brunson, you bring in Hartenstein. And who knows what's going to happen with the Mitchell situation. But even if you stand back at where you at, I still think we got a lot of stuff to work with. I think the Knicks is a pretty deep team, man. But salute to my brother Shaw Powell. What's good, my brother?
Salute Divine, salute chat. Let's get it.
Yeah, real talk, man. We got one of the fans up here, man. But yeah, man, I just was talking about the Tom Thibodeau thing, man, and look to see what he's gonna do this year, man. With this team, man. Hopefully he can get the guys back on the right track. Shaw Powell to just get him more rolling.
Yeah, I got high hopes for Tom Thibodeau this year, man. We took away a couple of his toys this year, so he's bound to play a lot of the guys that he had last year, and the guys that he had last year he likes, like a Grimes. I believe Grimes is going to get some good minutes this year. I believe Obi's going to get some good minutes this year. We just it's still how we figure out how we're going to run the rotation, and if we're going to have Evan Fournier, and what are we going to do with D Rose. And and don't kill me, Knicks fans. I hope we can keep I'm not saying we keep D Rose, but if we do, I hope we keep him on the bench. I want to try to keep him a little bit situational. I think IQ should be starting over D Rose. So I hope we can do that. And if we have to find out what we're going to do with Fournier, because Tibbs right now, I'm not sure how Tibbs feels about Fournier. If it's a option of Fournier or Cam Reddish, who he's going to put into the mix. and and I'm not even talking about if we get Donovan Mitchell right now too. That'll change up the way Tibbs will have to coach this year as well. But I think he's going to put, he runs about a 9-10 man rotation. So I think he's going to put his best foot out there. And I think he's going to have a pick and choose of what he can start the second unit with. And hopefully I think he could start Hardenstein. I think Obi Toppin. I think Deuce McBride. I'm sorry, Grimes, maybe Evan Fournier and IQ. That could be if we hold on to Fournier, that is what I hope that the second unit could be. And I think knowing Tibbs, I think he'll probably put D Rose out there before. But if he put D Rose into that second unit, one of the guys are going to get snubbed in that second unit. And my starting unit is Brunson, RJ, and Cam Reddish. That's what I would hope for us to start with. And I think with that team right there, Tibbs will have a lot of. I believe he's going to change up the way he runs the offense this year. I think it's going to be a more faster paced team. I think he's going to try to get these guys on the outlets, especially if you have Cam Reddish on the outlet, RJ on the wing, Cam Reddish on the wing. He'll probably try to run a little bit more because last year we wasn't great in fast break points. So I hope that he thinks that he wants to move this team, this young team that he has, and move them faster and not play so much of a half court game.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree here. Mix it up. I think you're gonna have that. But them young thoroughbreds, they got I think that they're gonna have to mix it up a little bit, and that's what you want because if you look at our numbers, which I'll put them up on the board in a minute, they wasn't too good because of that reason. So we got to definitely find a way to implement a little bit more speed, pace, all that good stuff. And I think we got the players with enough athleticism to do it. So hopefully that'd be one of his major changes is to get out there and run. I know he talked about it last year. Tibbs talked about wanting to get that, but maybe Alex Burks just didn't have it in him no more. You know what I mean? See, that's why I think people don't underestimate why I said that, why the Knicks injuries mean a lot. Can you imagine if Derrick Rose would have been playing for the Knicks and wouldn't have got injured? We'd have been faster in pace last year. When you missed him in December, when Derrick Rose went down, that pretty much was a wrap. You know what I mean? But with them young guys we got there, and with him being able to do what he do, now having a Jalen Brunson who's qualified to do that, I'm quite sure the offense would be a little bit more fast moving forward up and down the floor. I really believe that's going to happen. And so I think that's just one thing that I think I'm gonna be comfortable with Tibbs this year. I think he's gonna get the best out of the guys running the floor. Like I said, he wanted to do it, but no matter what you want to do, if you ain't got the personnel to do it, it don't matter. If you don't have the personnel to be up and down the floor, then it is what it is. Other than Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Grimes when he was playing, Cam when he finally got there and started playing, you didn't have a lot of guys who Evan Fournier's not a run up and down pace guy. You know what I mean? Right. So and guys like that in there, they what they're gonna do. They're not fast break guys. So we had to wind up becoming a perimeter team and hope and relied on that. But now like if you go the route you said, now you got guys in there who got athleticism. You know what I mean? They can up and down the court. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. And even when you get to the half court shot, they decent enough. Excuse me, when you get to the half court side of the ball, they decent enough to score on the inside or outside. So I do think that's going to be a big thing for the Knicks. And yes, Tom Thibodeau. Salute to my brother KJ. KJ, what's up?
Knicks Real Talk family. Shout out Devon. Salute to you all.
Yes, sir. What's going on, brother? You doing all right tonight?
Absolutely, man. As always something going on. But hey, listen, I know I haven't been on a while, but I want to say much respect to the legend, Bill Russell. Rest in peace to Bill Russell. Even though he was Celtics, the man was a legend. Salute to him.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good thing. The NBA got retired. That number's well deserved. But they did a lot. He was bigger off the court. That's for sure.
Yes.
He was bigger off the court. That between them 94, he was a demon between them 94 foot line. But in life, he was special. So yeah, salute to him. Real talk. But yeah, man, we here talk about Tom Thibodeau tonight and the coaching staff and the roster that's being formulated right now in New York and all that good stuff, man. So we just was pretty much talking about now that Ted got a little bit more stronger team down there. He got in maybe hopefully have a healthier team this year. I'm looking for him to be able to be much better than he was last year. with the projection of 39 wins, KJ. 4 out there from Vegas, whatever. But I think this team is better than that. We all healthy. I mean, he got the decisions to make, with roster spots because that's how deep they can be. But I still like what we got on the table right now for the Knicks.
Yeah, I like it too. Again, I think it's more talent than he ever had on his team. It's one of those things where, when do we stop blaming the players and it's coaches? So it's one of the things to me. I think he has a lot of roster. He has a lot of potential on his team, but he has to prove what he can do. The biggest thing with Tom Thibodeau is how is he going to manage these minutes? 10 minutes for Obi Toppin is not going to work. As we know as Knicks fans, the more minutes you get on that basketball court, the better you are as a player. So again, how's Tom Thibodeau going to make everything work with Julius Randle, with Obi Toppin, and R.J. Barrett and the rest of the crew? That's what I want to see. But I do want to throw a monkey wrench in the game, guys. We see everything that's going on in Brooklyn, and I said this before. I believe Steve Nash will come here if he's let go because of R.J. Barrett, as far as assistant coaches.
It's possible. I mean, I know RJ is RJ Barrett, but I don't know. I don't know. I get you. I understand that, but I don't know if he come here. I don't know. I know he's this Godfather and everything, but I don't know if he's the type of guy. He might not be a Leon Rose type of guy. He might not be a I don't know. We had to see. I mean, they pretty much got they locked in now with Johnny Bryant. And you got Rick Brunson there, and then you still got Dice on the guy. So it's possible. Anything is possible. I wouldn't put it, but let's see. But I tell you what, whatever happens in Brooklyn, it is what it is, man. That's a hot mess over there. So y'all should be thankful about the New York Knicks. That's a bunch of. If that was us, that was going on over there with KD in now, we'd be all over the place. But we ain't gonna get into all that. Cause we know who we are, Mr. Orange and Blue, man. Let them cats do their thing.
Thought you knew.
Right, I ain't yeah, but I get it though. It's a shame that that he had to go through that with them guys, man. But you playing, you coaching KD and Kyrie and these superstars, that, and and you a first time year coach, so them cats done been through it like you've been through. I don't know, but I tell you what, man. Right now, with I like where we at with our coaching staff. I kid you not. I like everything the Knicks did. Especially that Rick Brunson thing there, that was huge for a lot of reasons. So Tibbs got some guys who he trusts behind him, because you remember a lot of them coaches. Some of them coaches they wasn't Tibbs coaches. Like Johnny Bryant didn't get hired because of Tibbs. That's Worldwide West them got him there. That's not like one of Tibbs' boys who's been coaching with all his career. But Rick Brunson been around Tibbs since Chicago. Dyson Moto been there since Chicago. Things like that. A lot of these guys been around Tibbs and Andy Gear. Him and his brother, they've been with Tibbs for a minute. You know what I mean? So I understand it, but knowing that Brick was down with him with Chicago, I think they got a solid coaching staff there. Now he got some offense-minded cats can really help him coach that team. What he do best is help be a defensive-minded coach and get your team locking these boys down. But we'll see. I think it's gonna be fun, Shop Powers, KJ. I think the Knicks gonna have a pretty decent season. I don't foresee it being like no playing. I think a lot of people underestimate the injuries and the foul shooting last year, a lot of things like that. Shot Powers, we talk about it a lot. I mean, the Knicks only shot 74% from the free throw line as a team last year. You know what I mean? So that's abysmal to me. 74% as a team. When you should be the 80, 82. I mean, we all watch the same thing, man. We've seen these guys lose games because they shot 50% from the free throw in one game. You know what I mean? So hopefully them things like that don't happen this year, and guys be better at that specific part of the game, and then we get more wins. So I'm excited about the team for sure.
Yeah. Going forward, I just think Tibbs is going to try to use what he got to get what he needs to get done, man. And we have a strong team right now. Less Donovan Mitchell, and the more and more I go back and forth about the Donovan Mitchell right now. And I, with all the things out there, what Danny Ainge wants and stuff like that, I go back and forth, man. Do we really want to give up three of our picks plus four unprotected picks and stuff like that, or up to 5 unprotected picks, three picks and four unprotected and two other draft picks plus 3 of our players, man. I look at the team, and I've been watching a lot of some of the pro-am games and stuff like that, man. And I've been seeing how IQ is blossoming, man. IQ look a little bit thicker. He looked a little stronger. I think the other night he had a 45-point game or something like that, man.
Brunson
Uh,
Reed, yeah.
so he's doing some things that might can put D Rose and sit him on the bench and make him part of that third unit and stuff like that, especially for this year. But you seen the other day unfortunate loss, but they wasn't playing hard. They was just playing highlight plays. The Brunson, Randall, and Obi Toppin and stuff like that. Should have pulled out that game, but they did look good together. The one thing that I do want to bring up though, if anybody watched that Pro-Am game and seeing how Julius Randle played, there was there was it was a couple of hecklers, but there was one big one guy that was really loud, man, about Julius Randle, and he was ripping him the whole game, and he was he was really getting into Julius Randle real hard that game. And this is what I was saying about how some Knicks fans just don't forget how you are, and that was just one player, amongst, maybe 100 people in the stadium. Could you imagine 10,000, 15,000 people doing the same thing to Julius Randle? You know what I mean? Can you imagine one third of the Knick Garden really reaming into him and getting into him and stuff like that? I hope he can really change the mindset of how Knicks fans think about him. But this is one of the reasons why I hope that they can probably try to move him, man, because he even got a little loud at that Pro-Am game towards the crowd. And that was just, people in the Bronx. I mean, could you imagine what's going to happen with 15,000 people coming at you, 20,000, half the Garden, 3/4 of the Garden? Knicks fans will turn on you quick if you act like you. Anyway, let me just stop with that.
Hey, Shot, real quick though, one thing he had his wife and son at that game in the Bronx. So again, it's one of them things where I'm like, all right, if they doing that at the Garden with your wife and son, you was in close corners, So I mean, it is what it is. He's trying to show proof, but I was gonna bring that up. How did y'all feel after watching some of the highlights? If you didn't watch it, but how did you feel after watching that game and you seen Brunson with Julius and Toppin? Like, what was your honest opinion, Sean Devon, about like after you watched everything?
Let me break it down for me because, but at the same time, we kind of veered off the way I had to show scripts today. But it's
My
fine.
bad. I'm back. My bad.
I'll talk about that because I don't really get into the hyperbole stuff. That's preseason. I don't get into that because I don't care about that stuff. The Knicks paid Julius Randle $25 million. They paid my man $20 million because they didn't play good in the Pro-Am. I wouldn't play good either. You're going to kill yourself and wind up wasting a $100 million contract. You better not go out there and kill yourself.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You don't need all that. It's a game where you go play on game to get in shape because you haven't played organized ball. I mean, none of them guys are even in the pros. So who cares if they lost to them guys? Them guys that's not what they're there for. That's the way to get energy. And that's the reason why I just think that what matters is in the preseason, in the regular season. All that other stuff, everybody go. My man Devontae Murray and my man lost a Pro-Am game the other day. That's why I really don't like to really get into that stuff because now for what he's saying about Julius Randle's attitude, that's a different story. And believe it or not, he did. He was heckling back at the crowd, but and he's gonna have to deal with that. And I agree with Shaw Power. We've been talking about this for a minute. He might not just be built for New York no more. It might be where he wore out his welcome, and that's it. But it is what it is, man. That's what the New York Knicks organization got to deal with. Julius Randle is we know how we feel about it. He got game and everything, but for like Shaw Power said, he won't be able to go through this for the next season when he have a bad game. Everybody booing Julius Randle. I don't think the Knicks want that, so I don't know. But he gonna have to put up a shut up because if he start going the other way, he gonna get it. He's gonna get it, and then next thing you know, we're gonna be like Shaw Power said, we should have put him on the blocks. And I agree. It's not nothing about Julius Randle's talent. It's that now that because he got a bad taste, he left a bad taste in people's mouth, and some fans just don't forget that stuff. So let's see, man. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's behind him. But thinking about he was in, like I said, he was in the Bronx in a rough environment. They rooting on them local boys there, and a couple of them was in the pros. Not the pros, the Pro-Am, but they got game. But
couple of college players.
Yeah, they ain't with Julius Randle at though. So I just was one of them things, man. And but I do agree with you on certain aspects of it. He really didn't. That's what's concerning to me about Julius Randle. Not to make this about Julius Randle, the show, but we talking about it. You know what? Like you should. I understand you're free to bring your daughter, your kids, your sons, that baby, but that's the kind of place like that. You know what I mean? I'm saying you got it right, but that's a hostile environment. Them games like that, because you ain't in Madison Square Garden where you got to you in some places you down there with some rowdy people. You know what I mean? So and they got passion for basketball, and why when you're out there playing out there, they want to see cats give it to each other. You know what I mean? And this ain't Madison Square Garden. Julius Randle know what's that. So you pretty much on a block playing basketball in some cases. So it is what it is, man. But we gonna keep it moving, man. But as far as that, like I said, ain't no excuse for Tom Thibodeau. He got a good team this year. I think they're gonna be all right. I think the talent level. I think when you take everything into totality and go through all the variables, you got to also give them, not to make no excuse for them, but you got to remember where our team was at last year. I mean, we was, and let me just bring that up real quick, and we'll look at that, man, because I do think this team was, excuse me, guys, was in a different spot last year, man. When it comes to what they doing, look at that overall 82 games for our team. Shot powers, we had a field goal attempt 80 to 86 per game, whatever. Percentage 43 should have been better for the team shooting wide, be 43%. 13.2 3 points made, took 3 attempts, 36. We shot 35 below league average last year as a team. You know what I mean? So, and that's why it's important to bring all these things in, because like I always say back during the other day, Tibbs ain't shooting the ball, Tibbs ain't dribbling the ball, Tibbs not rebounding the ball. The players is out there. So this got a lot to do also with the players as well. So when I look at what I see there from last year, you only shot 43% from the field, 35% from three-point range, and you shot 74% from the free throw line last year. That's not good. Look at the rankings where it put you at. We were 27th in the league in field goal percentage. That's at the bottom. Right. We did good in 3-point percent. We was 10th in the league in 10 attempts, 9th in made, but we only shot 34%. You know what I mean? So if you look at the numbers across the board, sometimes it ain't all about the coach. It can be can the players get down? And I think we was ranked in the bottom in the offense, 30th, 30, 24, 27, 26, 30, 27. That's the lower echelon of 30 teams in the NBA. So that's why I say everybody sometimes jump on Tom Thibodeau, but Tom Thibodeau ain't shooting that ball. Look at these cats right here, real talk. If you look at their numbers from the last year player-wise, shot powers, and you look at the numbers what they shot, it is crazy. Let's say at a field goal percentage, Julius Randle 41%. 40% from R.J. Barrett, 41% from Evan Fournier, 39% from Alice Burks. Mitchell Robinson shot 76%. Kemba Walker didn't play like 40%. Derrick Rose, that's why I say you miss Derrick Rose. He's about the only one of the points. Shot 44%. You know what I mean? Emmanuel Quickly, 39%. Noel, the big guy, obviously they shot up close to 50%. And Grimes shot 40%. That's terrible. 53% for Obi Toppin, one of the highest on the team other than the centers. Cam Reddish, 41%. So to me, that team, that wasn't really about coaching. That was about them cats just wasn't playing. They wasn't shooting the ball well last year. And then the foul tech was abysmal, 75, 74 player-wise. Alex Burks shot a decent. Kemba Walker, and this is amazing. Evan Fournier, as a good shooter, he has only shot 70%. And we get on R.J. Barrett. He shot 71%. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I was saying. Look at he sharp as he shoot the ball, he only shot 70% from the foul line. Evan Fournier, and he shot 38% from the 3-point line. But at the 2-point area, he only shot 41%. So that to me, you can get on Tibbs all you want to about his coaching, but them numbers, you ain't winning that with nobody. Them facts right there. You know what I mean? So I think we gotta hopefully come back this year. Maybe that point guard situation make it different. But we didn't do too well in the league last year, man, shooting the ball, man, and that had a lot to do with whatever we did. You know what I mean? It really does. And so I'm banking that we bounce back this season and have a better thing. Our defense got better as the year went on, but we stayed in the top 10 of defense in a lot of categories other than them two. But we had a pretty good subpar. But we just got to get back at the basics, man, and let's see what the Knicks gonna do with this thing, because I think Jalen Brunson helps that out a great deal. I really do. And let's see if this cat can make it different for the Knicks. Shop House, I think he can.
Yeah, I think Brunson puts everybody in their place, man. You can see how he can orchestrate a team and stuff like that. So I think he helps put people in their place where it makes it easier for them to make a basket. And those percentages that we've seen out there for the field goal percentages should be a tad higher this year, I believe, because of the positioning and the placement of where Brunson will put the ball.
Yeah, real talk, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting, man. I'm really excited about what he going to be able to do with the team that he had. Let me keep that up a little long. That's a lot to read. Sorry, but I'm interested to see what he's going to do with the team he has, and if this guy's going to make a difference. Because that offense definitely got to get a little bit better, or if not, we're going to be when we didn't have a bad year. We won 31 games, 32 games. Well, I'm sorry, 37 games with a subpar offensive team last year. So that tells me that he did the best with what he had. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to see how it pans out moving forward. But salute to the chat, man. Salute to everybody. Appreciate y'all coming in. Knicks Real Talk. We in the building. Divine Shot Powers, KJ. We got the chat in the building, man. Salute to everybody. Hope y'all had a great day, man. And y'all ain't here with us, man, getting it popping. Last I knew, Giants was up 17-14 preseason. For all you Giant fans out there, some things was good, some things they need to work on. But it's the first game of preseason. You're not expecting too much. Just like the Pro-Am game, you don't expect too much, and
Right.
it is what it is. But you know what? I like what we got, KJ, and I do think that if these players stay healthy, it'd be a big year for us. Yeah, and I'm not saying we're gonna be top 5 before we understand that, but I think this team is better than a lot. This team is better than what people give them credit for. Let me put it like that. So, and I do think they Tom Thibodeau got something to work with, and they still not finished Shop Howard. I don't think they can go into the season with the roster the way it is. Somebody got to get moved. So that whether Donovan Mitchell here or not, I think the team is good. Donovan Mitchell obviously makes it better, but all depends what you're giving up to get. But I think this team should be fine, though. I really do. Man, child, salute everybody. Real talk. Yeah, I think it'd be better. Shop Howard. I'm ready to see this thing get popping, though. I'm ready for some basketball for sure.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you, Divine, man. I want to see, you get amped to see some things on TV just to see, up and down piece of basketball with some of your favorite players on the team and stuff like that. And I really think that I I would love to have Donovan Mitchell here, but the more and more that I get closer to the season, I kind of want to see what Grimes and Cam Reddish has in store for us this year.
Mhm.
And I believe with between the two of those guys, man, I believe they can, between Grimes and Cam Reddish, I think they can make the point that D Mitchell, could put up, 24 points a night. I believe between the two of those guys, I think they could get, 12 points a night easily. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm starting to get back into that. Now that we got a point guard, let's see what Jalen Brunson could do for this team. And it's going to be a big thing. We just talked about it. To see how Tibbs runs this offense this year, and with having Jalen Brunson as being a potent point guard that can facilitate. So, it should look a little different from what was last year. Watching Alex Burks out there for 35 minutes a night, being a little winded. He did big things for us last year, no question about that. But he's not a point guard,
Yeah,
and he's not a point guard. And with the way I hope that they can structure the team with the 10 men that I mentioned earlier, I think we can have a productive year this year, and I think we could really push a pace with the starting unit and the second unit to follow them.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, I agree with you, Shot. A lot wide piece of the God. I think the closer is, and I'm hoping somebody can step up to that role. You know what I mean? If not, Spider is that dude. I mean, he can get us there. I mean, for us clothing. But I'm hoping, what I do like about when I look at a lot of guys on our team, they do got ice in their veins though. They ain't scared. I mean,
They not scared. Brunson not scared.
Like IQ and Grimes. What I like about them young men, they ain't scared though. You know what I mean? They playing in the Mecca. They playing in New York, and them cats trying to make it happen. And I like these guys, man. I just think that the team gotta just be more efficient with their percentages this year. And I think they good to me. I think I think they got talent. I think the percentages this year got to get better. If they get the percentages up from the free throw line, and you get the percentages up from the 3-point line and the 2-point area, obviously get the team up around. If the team get around 46, 47% from the 2-point area, at least shoot close to 37, 38 from the 3-point line, and get to 80% at the free throw line. I think they're gonna be pretty decent. Like I said, these guys, they defense was all right. They was, like I said, 10th in the league and 13th in 3-point percentage. That wasn't bad. Out of 30, the Knicks were 13th in 3-point percentage last year. They was 9th in 3 points made. You know what I mean? And but yeah, overall they just shot what let me get it right, 30, 34, 35%. So if they get that up a couple of more percentages up to 37, 38, and they go from 70, what they shot 74 from the free throw line last year as a team, and get that up to 80%. Knicks won some pretty decent games last year. So I think it remains to be seen. But I like what's going in there, and I think they do got to make that one move to free this thing up. They just got to make one move. I don't know which one it will be. I have no idea, but I do know. I think for everybody to be comfortable and happy, I think they need to move somebody. If you're going to stay without the Donovan Mitchell thing I'm talking about, if you get the Donovan Mitchell thing, that's a whole different thing. Then you just got to move whatever you got to move. But right now, if Donovan Mitchell is out of the equation, then I think they still need to move one person. And I think that way everybody feeling that they're going to get some time. Because right now that's a pretty deep team. If you look at the players we got now and the players we brought in, and you talk about we bringing in 2 players that's automatically going to be in the rotation. Brunson and Hartenstein going to be in the rotation. So now 2 people coming out of that rotation that probably was used to playing last year, they ain't going to play. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting, but I think the Knicks got to make some good. I'm thinking Tibbs are going to do the right thing and get these boys to 40. So I'm going 45 wins. That's what I got. Shot Powell. I think the Knicks won 45 games.
I'm right there with you. I'm in that same rail with you. I got them winning 42 to 47 games. I'm giving them a 5-game window. I believe if we don't get Donovan Mitchell, if we run the second team with Hartenstein, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, who am I missing?
Reddish?
No, Reddish. I want Reddish in that starting unit. If we don't get Donovan Mitchell, I want him in the starting unit. Did I say IQ? The starting unit, RJ, Brunson, Reddish, Mitchell, and Randall. And then Hartenstein, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, D Rose, and IQ.
And what happened with Fournier?
Oh, that's what it was. I'm sorry. Thank you. Fournier and IQ. No D Rose. D Rose is on the third unit with Sims and Deuce and Deuce. He's on that 3rd unit. Thank you for that. I forgot all about Fournier. I already got him traded and everything. Look at that.
I said 45 wins.
Yeah, gotta make free throws.
That's the main thing. Yeah, them free throws and them foul. They got to be better offensively. Period. They got.
I think Brunson's a closer too, man. Everyone talking about. I think Brunson's a closer. I think he can get that last shot off.
Yeah. And for me, you can't compare my man. What's his name? Alice Burks and Kemba Walker to Jalen Brunson. He makes that team that better. Period. You know what I mean? He makes that team better because he do more things than Kemba Walker and Alice Burks does on the basketball court that helps the Knicks. You know what I mean? Alice Burks is a good scorer. He can get the offense popping, but Jalen Brunson is a point guard. And then can score. He can score. He know how to facilitate. He know how to push the pace. You make the guys around him better because if you think he is solid, then you go look at them tapes from the playoffs last year. Jalen Brunson did his thing, and that's what you're supposed to do in a contract year. Go show and prove. He showed and proved last year. Just like anybody else in the NBA, they show and prove they get their bag. Jalen Brunson was lighting it up last year, man, in the playoffs. Went to the Western Conference Finals with Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? So, that said a lot about his, and like he said in an interview with my man Alahan today on one of the talk shows. He's like, listen, I'm a winner. He said, I'm a born winner. He said, I always come to win. You know what I mean? He don't have that loser's mentality. And you got to respect that. You know what I mean? and the cat ready to play, man. So I think he's gonna make a big difference. I think a healthy Mitchell Robinson, all these little tidbits that we're speaking about makes a big difference compared to last year. Mitchell Robinson's not coming to the season off a nine-month hiatus with a foot injury. Think about this, everybody. He's not coming into the season off a 9-month hiatus with a foot injury and had out of shape. He's not coming into the season like that this year. You know what I'm saying? That's a big difference than last year with the team. Now you're getting a healthy Mitchell Robinson out the gate. You know what I mean? That's different than an unhealthy Mitchell Robinson without no stamina coming out the gate last year. It's big. That makes a big difference. You know what I mean? And so you can expect coming out of the gate, the Knicks defense going to be pretty decent with him back there out the gate. You know what I mean? And because he's more healthy, he'd be able to do more things. So now you just got to hope that Julius Randle can get back into what he did, even though he put up 20, 10, and 5 last year. It's still from a shooting percentage wise and just rhythm and everything that went on with him. He had a pretty a bad year. Not so much numbers, but just overall. But if he come back better, RJ come back better, I just think with Jalen Brunson, I think this team better. If you is starting Fournier, yeah, we might suffer in the backcourt on the defense side, but I still think it's a good team. So we'll see, man. There's some tough teams in the East. Everybody get better. I mean, but the Knicks got better too, and I think we can't lose sight of that. Shot Powell's like, yeah, we know Chicago got better. We know this team got better. We got better too. You know what I mean? So and we coming back more healthier. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm excited about it, but I'm gonna go 45 though. I just think that they could do that. They won 37 last year with the team they had, and they had all the injuries. Then they didn't shoot the ball well, and they were in the same Eastern Conference like everybody else was.
Almost 500.
Yeah. If they come back better, healthier, better percentages, they compete with anybody. Because they competed with them last year with a broken down team with some of your key players. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited about what Tibbs got. He ain't got no excuses this year. I know that much.
Yeah, I just know, I've been seeing the things about how Tibbs is going to run the offense and stuff like that, and I also seen how I think it was ESPN that put out where they ranked the Knicks to be this year. I think it was 13th or something like that. I think they have them I think they said 30. I don't even think they gave us as many winners as we had last year.
They got us 10th in the East and 39 wins.
39. Okay, so 39 wins. So and I mean, I believe this team could be better than that, man. Maybe it's just me and I'm just being this real true Knicks fan and stuff like that. But I think RJ is going to come back and have a better year this year. He's progressively always done that, and I believe they're just going to do it again this year. I believe Brunson. I believe Mitchell was going to have a better year. Coming in healthy this year, already shooting free throws. They're showing that he had a couple of big man moves and stuff like that. I think we're gonna have a better year from Randle this year. I think Randle is gonna hunker down and hopefully we can take the ball out of his hands so he can have a better productive year. But I think the big thing that we're gonna have is Jalen Brunson, man. I think Jalen Brunson is gonna put all those guys right where they need to be, man. And I think Jalen Brunson, if we keep a hold of Cam Reddish, I think that's our starting unit, and I believe that should be our starting unit coming out. I think the better unit with the second unit, I'll say it again, with Grimes and Fournier in the backcourt. Both guys are threats from being a three-point threat. And Grimes can also facilitate a little bit more with him and IQ. And Hartenstein, he's a pretty good open-eyed, tall guy that can give you the pass too. I think that's a real lethal second unit. So I think if we can improve our percentages this year from last year, like you said, the two things we just have to improve: 38% for 3-pointers and 80% from the free throw line. And we probably win about 4 or 5 more games than we did last year.
Absolutely. But yeah, hey, JJ, you're 100% right on that. Can he be that? That's a good question. I mean, you know what, man? He's a pro, man. It was crazy about Julius Randle, man. Other than last year, I mean, what's so tough about last year? He just got the bag. You know what I mean? Just you get in that bag. The team that when you get that bag, they expect you to come in there and make it happen. And I think, the season before that, working up to get the bag, Julius Randle been putting in work since he, been in the NBA trying to get better every year. I'm not going to knock the man for his talent. You know what I mean? He could do his thing, man. He's a talented dude, but, He just last year he ran them up. I mean, he ran them up with the stuff that wasn't important to basketball. Feelings and emotion got in the way a lot of games. You know, starting to hit a rah-rah from the crowd and everything, and the boo birds and the Obi Chan. But Julius Randle, man, the Knicks didn't get a man that money because they thought he couldn't play. You know what I mean? Shop out. They gave the man the money because they thought he could get down. But yeah, I do like that. I like that lineup, man. Child, real talk.
That's my lineup right there. I like that one, man.
I like that because they, you know, Cam and RJ, they got some nice size to them. Now you know you got and Randall. I like that. That's an athletic team right there. Brunson, if they can, they're just gonna have to shoot that ball from the 3-line pretty good, which I think they can. They can get shoot the ball from the 3-line pretty good, which I think they can. I really believe that. I think that'd be a good team right there. You got some good defenders in there. You got some athletic guys in there. So I think having RJ in that backcourt, you know, makes Jalen Brunson's job a little less harder because, you know, you got a cat in there who can cover couple with you now. And RJ, he don't have a problem taking on the best defenders in the game. From what I've seen last year, he'd challenge anybody at that spot. So, and putting him back at the 2 might be great, though. You know, now he back at he a 6'7" 2 guard, bully ball whenever he need to.
Just saying.
Yeah, I think that'd be dope. And Cam Reddish, you know, I think this he got to show improve this year. This is make a break for him. You don't want him to go out like Knox did. You know what I mean? Real talk. The cat's got talent, and you know you want to see him put it together, man. And I think he'll have a pretty good year too. That's another. I think he's one of my sleepers on the Knicks. Shot Powers.
Yeah.
If he's still here, he's not put in a trade or anything. I think Cam Reddish is one of my sleepers on his team next year. I think he got something to show improve. You know, and I think, you know, he gonna like listen. The games I started in Atlanta, I was having 18 a game, 20 games I started in one year out there for guys. He could play, man. So let's see if he can put it together and get it popping. Parrish, salute, my man. Salute, Parrish, salute. Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting, man. He you know, I'm excited, man. I can't wait to this thing. I don't want time to go too fast, but you know, you get older faster. But I do want to see these boys get it popping, though. I think they're battle tested. They've been together with they brought in a dog, though. That's what I'm really happy about. You know, they brought in a dog. The Jalen Brunson get, you know, listen. So, you know, he got that in him, and I'm happy about that, man. I was excited to see what that boy was doing in the playoff last year. Because, you know, we was on the streams last season, like, well, whether it's Devontae Murray or this person, some people didn't want Jalen Brunson. I wouldn't give him $20 million, like people were saying. But I think they got something special. I think the man can play some ball, man. He'll win a 2-time national champion, point guard. Went to everywhere he won. You know what I mean? High school, went to Villanova, 2 back-to-back championships. You know what I mean? Running the point guard for Jay Wright and the boys. Went down here, came to you know, Dallas. Listen, for year 4, they're in the Western Conference Finals. So, you know, the man. I think he bring that mentality to New York, and I think that's a good. And because RJ want to win, you know what I mean? Cats want to win. So and just have somebody who could do that, man. I'm hoping that it all translates on the court. And he do what he did last year for Dallas because he was in the Western Conference getting down in the playoffs, 20-something game when Luka wasn't in there. And then when he was in there, he still was pretty high. But now he got the control of the offense, shot out. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I believe he's going to run. Like I said, I think he's going to put people in their position. I think he's going to place people where they need to be so it make it easier for them to score. And, you know, one of the reasons why I say Cam Reddish in the starter unit, Cam Reddish is a pretty decent shooter over his career. I mean, he's from 32 to 36% from 3 with more time on the court. I believe he could, I mean, you know, I believe he could probably get about 18, 20 minutes on the court. So I think that he can come in here and up the ante. Plus, this is a year for him to up the ante. You see some workout videos of him. He's looking bigger in the chest, bigger in the arms. He doesn't have that thinness in his face no more. He's more defined, more chiseled in his face. So I hope that he can come in. He plays defense. He's long and he's athletic. That's a perfect position for him to be as a small forward in this league. And I think pushing RJ down back to the 2 position, he could just, like you said, Devon, bully ball all day with all day. I think RJ is just going to be a bully ball type of guy. And if he can pick up his percentage at 3-point as well, I think we'll be a more effective team. And he only has to hit two more 3-pointers than he did last year with a better percentage, you know. And I think Julius Randle wants to be a better player this year. So I think if he can bring his percentage, I think he was 33, 34% this year. If he can bring it back up to 35, 36%, you know, he doesn't have to be in the 40 range, but if he can bring it up to 36%-ish, I think he'll be a more perfect. I think his game this year is going to be more going downhill with Brunson. I think him and Brunson with the two-man game on the left wing is going to be something to watch. So and I also think Mitch is going to be a dominant force. Like I said earlier, man, he's coming back. He's going to be healthy this year. He didn't have that foot injury. He's already shooting free throws now in a couple of moves. I got high hopes for this team this year, man. If we were to make a move, the only person that I could possibly see us to try to make a move right now would probably be Fournier, but I don't know where we could fit him in unless we're doing a Donovan Mitchell. Now, if we do a Donovan Mitchell, I would love to see Donovan Mitchell here, but it all depends on who we take away. And there's also that three trade deal that's out there, stuff like that. But I think with the team that Tibbs is given this year, I think he's going to be much more effective, and I think he's going to have different schemes this year than he did last year with Alec Burks. I think he ran a lot of the same plays for Alec Burks because of how Alec Burks plays this year. Brunson could do almost anything. He can, give you some assists. I think he could post up a little bit. He could shoot a jump shot. He could drive the ball. So I think it's a different look for Tibbs this year with having Alec Burks. Without having Alec Burks in the lineup and having Jalen Brunson in the lineup.
Yeah, quality jumper. I'm glad you put that up there. And that's a good thought. That's for me. That's if you look at the team the way they're presently constructed right now, that is going to be a little concern of mine if you don't have a guy who can guard in that backcourt with Jalen Brunson. Don't get me wrong, it's not the size of the dog, it's the fight of the dog. So Jalen Brunson's good on that avenue. But let's say if it's Fournier and him, I think that's going to be pretty tough to guard the big athletic cats who can blow by you, jump over you. And I think that was our problem last year at the 2-guard spot because good in the second half of the season, good as Evan Fournier was shooting the ball and starting to penetrate the hole. He was good at getting in the lane and taking a steal here and there. But I think on a one-on-one situation, it was a little tough. And I think him and Jalen Brunson is going to be pretty much we're going to have to really make sure R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson holding it down in the front quality jumper because I think we'd be all right with R.J. and Mitchell Robinson. I think it's more about Julius Randle. It's more about when he want to play defense, his effort. He can't play. He can defend. He was one of the better defenders at that position in a couple of years ago, last year, something like that. He was really good at that position, guarding. So if he come in there and bring his game in the front line, I think it'd be all right if you got R.J., Mitchell Robinson, and Julius Robinson from a defense perspective. But it's all about that helping out. When you see a man get beat, you're gonna just sit there and let him get beat, or you're gonna go at him and help him out. So that's what the biggest thing for me is to switch defense this year. If you're gonna be helping out your man in rotation when you need to rotate. I don't like guys rotating a lot. I want you to get up in your man grill and lock him down and keep everybody from chasing one another. But man, that was tough last year, man.
Yeah, because Obi shot 31 too. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't do too good from the 3-point line last year. We shot at the team 35%. That's literally that's like almost below league average or right at league average. And we got to be better than that. That's big. So I'm hoping the guys like Quentin Grimes quickly them. I think Obi will shoot better this year. I think Obi might get you league average this year, especially if he get more time and he get in a rhythm. And he out there. These guys are working. I got to give them credit, man. They out there working this summer. They out there putting in work. But from a defense perspective, I do think it's going to be a team defense thing like always. Right now, if you don't put Quentin Grimes in that starting lineup or move RJ to the 1, I don't think your defense is going to be that strong. But I do think if you assert quickly a Quentin Grimes or you move RJ back to the 2, I think our defense could be better. I think it'd be a better shot, but it's definitely going to be a challenge because we pretty short down there, man. You look at Jalen Brunson, Fournier, RJ, Randall. We short. Only one tall is Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? So we not a tall team. We know we got So I think that'd be a shakeup there with that 2-guard spot. That's why I don't have a problem with Quentin Grimes there because we know what you're going to get out of him from a defense perspective. You're going to get the same shooting that Fournier got from that 3-point line last year. If you look at their numbers, Evan Fournier shot 41% from the 3-point line. Quentin Grimes 40%. No, excuse me, not 40, 39. So Evan Fournier shot 38% from the 3-point line. Quentin Grimes shot 39%. So he give you the same thing Evan Fournier was giving you, shot power, but he also giving you defense. So I don't got no problem with Fournier coming off the bench if you keep the Knicks keep him, send him off the bench. But I do think they need a defender in that 2 spot though.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I think I was trying to just pair. I would like to see if we can't put Cam in the starting rotation. I would not be opposed to having Grimes in the starting rotation with Grimes in the starting rotation. You got defense big and then you got defense. Now you move RJ back to the 3. And that's a pretty big front court as well. I mean, and I think Brunson will really help out. Grimes would really help out Brunson and with the defensive attack, on who's coming up the court and stuff like that. So, I'm not opposed to any one of those guys because my main guy that I think that possibly needs to be moved if we can't move him. But if we could move him, would be Fournier. I'm not even. I don't want to let Rose go. I think we could just hold him for one more year and let him be on that third and let him, get healthy so he can be healthy for the second part of the year when we pass the All-Star break and we starting to make these strides. Put him in games periodically. To keep them limber and stuff like that. Don't totally sit them on the bench, but I believe we will be a better team if we hold on to Derrick Rose a little longer to let him play. I wanted to play some games and stuff like that, but I think we'll have a better. What am I trying to say? I think we'll be a better looking team. After the All-Star break with Derrick Rose getting a little bit more minutes towards the end of the season than playing him early in the season and got forbid that he gets hurt or something like that. I think we could keep him a little enclosed a little bit, and so we can have a stronger outlook for him at the end of the season. I think that's what the idea. I think about Fournier is the guy. I still have Fournier in the second unit. I don't want Fournier in no first unit. I would rather have Grimes or Reddish in the first unit. Either one of those, I believe this year is going to be a better look because both of those guys play defense and both of those guys can shoot a 3-pointer shot. So they make people play up on them. And both of those guys, I believe that can pass the ball as well, Reddish and Grimes.
Okay. You about to call the firestorm over here with that tweet. I mean, with that chat right there. I don't know about that one now. You know what I mean? I think RJ Knicks about to sign that boy, man. But I tell you what I wouldn't do though. I trade Julius Randle for him. Andrew Wiggins. Think about this lineup now. You trade if you had to get rid of Randle just because, Brunson, RJ, Wiggins, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson. I do not have no problem with that whatsoever. You know what I mean? For real. Because Wiggins is better than Fournier. RJ go back to his spot. And Obi Toppin get to come in there and get it popping off with Jalen Brunson and then Mitchell Robinson. You got defender at the 1. You got to defend at the 5. You got to defend at the 3, and you got to defend at the 2. And you got 2 defenders, 2 guys at the 1 and the 4. They put in more effort, they probably be all right. Andrew Wiggins, and that's a Tom Thibodeau boy from back in the day. That would be nice. I think that's satisfied because Wiggins do for you have to give him some money depending on what he want. But I wouldn't mind having him at the small forward instead of RJ. Move RJ back to the 2 or unless you can get Fournier out there on that deal. I don't know, man. So it would be interesting to me. But that's the type of team I would want because, like I said, I think you athletic, you defend, and be a pretty nice team, man. I think so. But one of them guys gonna go, and I know they will. I don't think they're going into the season if the Donovan Mitchell thing happen or it don't, which I hope it does. I hope it does happen and we don't get fleeced. But if we don't, we just got to make one little pivot. That's all. Whether 4 days might, but okay. But that would have been tough. Tough Love said, "Obi not ready to start." That's a tough one for me, man. Anybody could drop 42 points on someone in the NBA game. I know it's only short, but his numbers was pretty good at the end of the year. Okay, I'm in tough love. I meant to say Obi Toppin has some decent numbers when he starts and played. He put up good numbers. But I think what I like about him, the only reason I say that tough love, the reason why I don't have a problem with it, because I do think him playing with RJ and Brunson, it takes the pressure off. You know what I mean, Shot Powers? Because he's not going to be the man. So don't put the pressure on him. He just got to go out there and get his 17-5 or 17-6 rebounds. I mean, like I said, he's going to get 8 points alone, running up and down the court on fast breaks. You know, he knocked down a couple of threes in the game and, work on a couple of post moves. I think he'd be all right. I think he'd be fine. I think Obi Toppin get you 17-7.
The reason why I mean, for me, if we could move on from Randall, the reason why I like Obi to start is because of the team that we have, and another big reason why I would love to see Obi start if we get Donovan Mitchell, because Obi is not the type of guy that needs the ball. You know, he does so much other things than to demand for the ball to be given to him so he can post up like what Julius does sometimes. So if we got Donovan Mitchell, it would be, I believe, one of the best options because now we have to figure out if we keep Randall, we have to figure out time for Randall, time for Brunson, time for Spider, and we have to also figure out time for RJ. Not leaving out Mitchell Robinson. So I think if we moved off from Randall, I think the two guys in the backcourt, Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, will get more assists per game. I think their assists will go up because now we got two guys that are electrifying on the wings now. Now we got Obi Toppin that's always cutting and moving, and Mitchell Robinson waiting to grab a alley-oop anytime that you throw it to him. And that also intensifies RJ to be a three-point threat now. Now with everybody pushing in so much, one player that stays out would be RJ Barrett, and he will have more open shots. And I believe this year he'll have a better percentage three-pointer at the three-point range. So I think with everybody pushing in, RJ stepping out, I think he'll have better, cleaner shots this year.
Yeah. Just to answer the guard question, a lot why. So y'all think Brunson and Spider want to play here without Randall? It all depends. It all depends who you're getting back for Randall. I mean, I'm quite sure if you bring Donovan Mitchell in here, I'm gonna just try to answer the guard question the best way I can. It all depends because let's say the Knicks going to get somebody for Randall that makes the Knicks better.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I know Randall nice, but if you can move Randall for something that's going to make the team better and the chemistry better, you might have to look at it that way. From a sense, I don't know. I think you're good with them or without him, but do I think they will come here without him? Well, Brunson already did it, so he already signed. But it all depends. It all depends if who you getting in that position for Randall. If you get somebody who can do just as good as him, or he might do a little bit less than Randall, but it gives you the flexibility to use one of our other players in the back of him. Like I said, Randall scored 20, 10 last year. If Obi Toppin give you 17-7, but you bring in another player that's going to also give you some more numbers to make up for Julius Randle numbers on the back end and maybe on the bench, then you still, I think long the team is good, but that's going to be tough because that's a lot of ball domination right there. I mean, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Spider Mitchell, they all need the ball, and Randall. You know what I mean? It's like who going to be willing to sacrifice for that night? You know what I mean? Or if Jonathan Mitchell dropping it that night, if they going to say, well, you know what, let him do his thing, because that's what type of team it's going to have to be. If you bring in a guy, if you can bring in Donovan Mitchell, you already got RJ and you got Randall and them. I think it's going to be a lot of ball dominant players, and that's what I like about Obi Toppin, because the reason why I like Obi, he's not a ball. His game is not predicated off of ball dominance. Because why? He run the floor. He's athletic. He can rebound, get his points. He can run the floor, get his points. You throw him the ball in the corner. If he get better, he could pop the three. So it's not like he need the ball in his hand, but to go and get buckets. So, but I think that's why I don't have a problem with the Obi Toppin thing, man, because I think that was our problem last year. Shot Powers with RJ, Randall, Fournier, and Kemba Walker. They all needed that ball.
All needed that ball, man.
You know, and sometimes you're gonna have a guy in a team who don't need the ball, but he effective in a lot of other areas, and he affect the game in a lot of different ways. When everybody want the ball, ain't nobody getting the rhythm. That's why our offense was so abysmal last year. 30th, and we was at the bottom of everything, bro. And the numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? Because everybody needed the ball. See, when we had Alpha Payton and Reggie Bullock, we had two guys
needed the ball.
Didn't need the ball. They knew they role. They did what they did, and that's what. And I just think that's why I think the if Brunson, RJ, and Donovan Mitchell is your three guys for now, I don't have a problem moving on for Randall if you're going to bring in something that's going to help make the team just as good as Randall was here, but it makes it function better. And without all the noise that Randall's going to go through, because he's going to go through it. Again, like we say, he's going to go through it. I just think that after what you've seen in the Bronx, like you said, it's just an indication that what can happen with Julius Randle the rest of the year. If he goes through them turmoil things, man, and all that stuff, it's going to be tough. Shot Powers, and is it worth all that? You know, so I do think RJ and Donovan Mitchell could be a lovely 1-2. You know what I mean? I think because RJ's on the ascend, and Donovan Mitchell's already there. So I don't have a problem with it being a 1-2, 1A, 1-2 for now until the next thing you know, you might bring in a creme de la creme dude that's over both of them to try to get to the top. But I would say so, a lot that they might, you know, I think they'll come. Shot Powers. I think the Knicks pretty good anyway. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not knocking Randall, and I think Spider, if Randall is here, they would match up well. The like I said, it's not about Randall as him being a good player, but if you got Donovan Mitchell here, who you gonna give the ball to first? If you Brunson, you gonna give it to Donovan Mitchell or you gonna give it to Julius Randle? You know what I mean? And then you have to think now you putting RJ on the back burner as well. You know, with Julius gone. Not saying that I want him to go, but if hypothetically speaking, if he's gone, Obi doesn't really need the ball. You know what I mean? You can give him the ball, but he doesn't need the ball as much as a Julius Randle would need the ball. Obi Toppin would make more of his points on the breakouts, the fast break points, you know, a little bit more of a lob threat as well. You know, he wouldn't be like Julius Randle that needs the ball to you know, back you down, hold the ball 4 or 5 seconds, post you up and try to make a move on you. Obi's not doing that. So that would make more room for RJ to get the ball. So it would be Brunson making the assist to Donovan Mitchell or Julius or RJ, more so than trying to figure out who's going to get the ball when I bring the ball down. RJ, Spider, or Randall. You know, did that make sense there? I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Randall here, I think they still gonna be good.
Yeah, they will make. I know.
Randall said, you don't get me wrong, but you got a nice squad.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping on Randall by no means. If Randall's still here and you got Brunson, Spider, RJ, and Randall and Mitchell Robinson, that's a nice squad, bro. I ain't hating on it, but my question is that we just got to see how the distribution of the ball gonna go. But one thing I do like about it, all 4 of them cats can go get it though. I would say that much about Randall, RJ, Donovan Mitchell, and Brunson. All 4 of them brothers can go get it. I mean, them 4 dudes, they no slouch players. Let's not get it twisted. Donovan Mitchell is not a slouch. Brunson is not a slouch. RJ is not a slouch, and Randall is not a slouch. You know, Randall. Hey, he had an off year last year, but remember what he did the year before? All NBA. You know what I mean? 24 and 11 and 5. I mean, the cat can get down. So he ain't coming in. He coming in better shape this year. You look at him, you never know, man. So I do think if they don't move him, and it's still going to benefit the Knicks one way or the other. I think Randall can get down, man. Like I said, take away all the antics and all the semantics and all that stuff from last year, but you just deal with what he could do with a basketball. I've seen Randall put it up on a lot of cats in the NBA. I've seen killing Brooklyn, KD, all of them. And when he went to play against the Lakers, was giving AD and them the business. I mean, straight up. So I think the Knicks got a better team than people think they did. I just think we got to get the bad taste out of our mouth from last year. And remember that just like somebody else got better, we got better too. You cannot underestimate the acquisition of Jalen Brunson. You can't underestimate the health of Mitchell Robinson coming back more stronger, more healthy. That's a big difference, bro. That's a big difference.
And also, don't forget, these guys coming back another year in the NBA. You know, IQ coming back another year in the NBA. Obi Toppin coming back another year in the NBA. Grimes this is his second year coming back to play another year in the NBA. You know, and the second unit with Donovan Mitchell. Let me not take this away if we do hold on to Julius Randle, because the second unit would be really where we would have to get rid of Fournier, because and then I can't even really make up what the second unit would be because I don't know who will go into trade. But you know, I thought about it. Then I thought about if we get Donovan Mitchell, that means we might have to lose some of our players that's on the second unit. So I don't even want to say who I think they really want. I know they a lot of things out there. Oh, they want Derrick Rose. They want Grimes. You know, they don't want Cam Reddish. That's out there. They don't want Cam Reddish. But they would like Grimes. They like Obi Toppin. You know, so there's some names and that would be in that trade that we might not like if we get Donovan Mitchell. But if it's a breaking point of taking two of those guys and giving up uh uh Derrick Rose, I mean I love Derrick Rose and the whole nine, man. But if we keep if we keep a match of Obi Toppin, IQ, or Grimes, two of those three guys, and D Rose have to go, then D Rose has to go. You know, I think IQ, OB, and that second unit with if we keep Reddish, that's another formable too. Grimes, that's four guys right there in the second unit. That with Hardesty, that's a good little second unit, man. I'm thinking about the first and the second unit this year, man. We need another second unit like we had last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And I think if they come back healthy, they will be pretty much like. And let me ask you a question. This is would even though this is a hypothetical, but how do y'all feel about if the Knicks would to do something like this here? Evan Fournier for Kyle Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma?
Mm-hmm.
I like Kyle Kuzma.
I was marinating, and I'm like, man, you getting a big 6'9" small forward.
I like him.
So
that's the one that came from LA, right?
Yeah, he went to Washington.
Yeah. Went to Washington. Yeah. I like him.
Yeah. I'm like, I can picture somebody that side at the two and at the three, and where RJ back at the two. I think that'd be pretty. I like Kyle Kuzma, man. He can get down though. Yeah. I hope not quality jumper. I hope we don't trade on our youth, man. That's why I think this thing is prolonging so long. I think Leon Rose like I'm not giving up on some of these guys, man. Because I give up on them, then me getting Mitchell, it ain't gonna make the team. It's gonna make the team.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait another year or something like that.
Wait another year or something, but yeah.
And we only, if I'm not mistaken, I think we only got a minimal contract of like $6 million or something like that, vet minimum or something, you know, that minimum contract. Yes, and we already had 13 players right now. We still need to fill in two positions right now. We give up Donovan Mitchell. I mean, we get Donovan Mitchell and we give up three players. We're probably going to be closer to needing four players, almost four players to get. You know what I mean? So that'll be hard to get with $6 million and stuff like that. So
yeah, hopefully they can fill it out with Farring Hunt and all them guys, man. I think Farring Hunt killed. They on two ways, so they definitely can come there. But I think they also can get some $1 million players here and there. The cats that just want to be here, man. You know, to be a part of this thing. Give Melo $2 million. But yeah, I brought that up because I was like, man, I can picture Kyle Kuzma. And the good thing about that, you know, one thing about it too, man, he got championship pedigree in him. You know, went to the finals with LA and LeBron and them. So he's coming from a good place. You know what I mean? You know, and but I like his size. I like his athleticism. He's a good defender. That's why I like. Wow, you know, putting Kyle Kuzma at the three with RJ, and that'd be pretty decent, man. If you don't get nothing else done. Because but I do think the Knicks got enough energy, enough talent to make it happen. So we'll see how the ball bounce when the season get here. But I'm pretty optimistic about our team, man. Salute to the chat, everybody, man. Y'all cats been doing your thing, hanging in there. Appreciate y'all, man. Knicksville Talk Divine. KJ was in the building, must exited out. We got Shop Howard being here, man. Talking Knicks on this beautiful Thursday night. But I don't know what happened with the Giants. Y'all let me know what's up with that. I know it's preseason, but I've seen a couple of interesting things in that game as well. At the beginning of the game, on the first drive, they looked pretty decent. Shaquan Barkley had some good runs. Daniel Jones looked pretty decent. So look forward to it. It's still rusty though. You know what I mean? They still rusty. But overall, I'm gonna see what they're gonna do. Our defense looked kind of suspect in that first quarter though. I was like, whoa, these guys getting scored on, not scored on, but getting a lot of yards on them than the secondary guys we had. But they managed to only hold them 14, so we'll see. But yeah, man, I'm excited about the season moving forward. Shot Power. I'm looking forward to opening night, man. We'll be up in the building, man, getting it popping for sure.
And the place to be.
In there again this year, doing our thing, man. I'm you know me, I'm a homer and I'm an optimistic brother. I try to look at a lot of the good things about the team. We got a lot of things we need to work on and everything like that. But I see some things that could happen, and I really think this team could be a good team if they put it all together. I think if it all come together, man. I think we got enough talent to compete. We ain't got no slouches down there, man. You really look at that Knicks roster up and down. You got some good players there. You know what I mean? And I know we hard on all players when we don't have the good years and all that stuff, but I like IQ and Obi and them. I look at some of the gifts these guys got, man. I seen what they could do when they get minutes. I think when you see these guys, the more minutes they get, it seems like they produce. So that's why I'm excited about going next forward. We can move somebody. Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, and Grimes, and quickly them get minutes along with what we got there. I think the Knicks would be a good team. I really do. I think they'd be a good team. I think IQ going to have a good year. I think Reddish going to try to get a pop. I think Reddish going to have a good year. Contract year. I think he's going to play hard. I think Grimes looking to bounce back after the season and the injury he had. Had a good summer league. I think these guys. I think now with the acquisition of Brunson and healthy Mitchell Robinson, like I said, I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. And a lot was. I was saying it earlier in the stream, man. IQ is looking bigger. He's looking older, if that makes sense. He looks like more mature. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. He's looking more mature. He's looking a little bit more stocky in his body. His chest is sticking out a little bit more. His arms are a little bit more defined, man. I think IQ is going to have a great year this year, man. Yeah. So, that's probably one of the reasons why IQ is looked at to be moved, man. If we keep D Rose, man, I don't know how we're going to work the lineup. It all depends on how they move. If we get Donovan Mitchell, it depends on who we're going to still have here. But D Rose and IQ, in that second unit, if we keep Grimes, I don't know where IQ is going to get minutes. That's why I hope that if we do keep Grimes and have IQ, I hope that's our 1 and 2, IQ and Grimes with whoever else we have left, and save Rose until, let him play a little bit, but not as much, not 30 minutes, 27 minutes, 24 minutes. He doesn't need minutes like that, and he needs minutes like 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 14 minutes. He needs minutes more like that so we can preserve him for the latter part of the season. We don't need to explode him out on the court and give him first time he gets out, he's 25 minutes on the court. Now we take it away from somebody else's position too. So it's a big thing with D Rose. I hope we can save him for break in case of emergency, because as the 82 game season, man, and we hate to say it out loud, but people get hurt, so we need a D Rose to come off the bench for us just in case something happens to one of our starters or one of our men that comes into the second unit.
Yeah, that's a dilemma the Knicks got on their hand with that, because that man, he was one of our better Knicks the last couple of years.
Facts.
Literally, he was one of our better Knicks the last couple of years, man. And his numbers were better, just about better than everybody from a percentage standpoint. It's just gonna be a tough decision for the Knicks, man. That's why I said it's one player gotta go, because I think you could quickly literally can go probably wind up compete for 6th man of the year next year.
I'm just saying that's what I'm looking for.
I think IQ game has gotten that good. And I like the consistency where he played the rookie year this year. Both years he's been in the league 11 points a game. And last year, 2 triple doubles at the end of the season, and it wasn't on no slouch teams neither. Cat was dropping 34 here, 30 here, a couple of games. I think this gonna have. I think that that's why I make this trade so hard, because I just think that the Knicks happy with these guys they got, man. I just think the Knicks is happy with Grimes and IQ and them. And I know, and I guarantee you, I think they trying to put maybe Fournier or McBride And I don't think they're trying to get them guys in that trade. That's the reason why I think they say, you know what, we wait and see. We gonna give you this package. I don't know what it is, but I don't think the Knicks are willing to give up them dudes, man. To just my feeling, anyway. I think they know that collectively, them cats can help this team in a lot of ways. And I think IQ gonna have a good year, and I think Cam Reddish gonna have a good year. I think we underestimating the talent of these guys. And I think who the better get. One thing you might not like about Ted when he did rotation at the, but he know how to develop some players though.
Yeah, he knows how to pull that out.
He know how to develop players, man. And everybody on the Knicks, you think about it. RJ got better, quickly got better. Obi getting better. That's what he do. You know what I mean? His numbers don't lie; they speak for themselves. So I think that might be one of the reasons to me, Shop, how they might this thing is just prolonging. I think the Knicks probably say, listen, we give you this, we give you that, and we give you these picks. I think the Knicks trying to go this dude, this certain dude, and I'll give you these picks, but I don't want to give up these other three guys. I think that's where they at with that. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping so.
Yeah, just put everybody at the same starting gate, you know what I mean, and see what happens. I hear you where you're coming from, Parrish.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the less amount of players that we have last year, I think we have a chance to give players a little bit more time on the court, you know what I mean? And I mean, I say this too, man. I don't think with the way we got it matched up now, you know, man for man, first unit, second unit, you can see some of the first unit not being tired in games now because of who you have backing you up. You know, so now you can play 30 minutes, 31 minutes, 29 minutes, you know, and your backup can play 17 minutes, 19 minutes, maybe 20 minutes a game and stuff like that. And it keeps everybody fresh and it keeps them better set for the fourth quarter. You know, we had problems in the first and third quarters a lot last year. And if we could get the rotation, you know, in the first unit, instead of just letting Randall playing 11 minutes, you know, he could get 7-8 minutes in that first quarter. And then you could bring in Obi Toppin and let him finish the first quarter out, 1 minute into the second quarter, bring Julius Randle in the whole end of the second quarter. You know, just the way you rotate the guys in on their positions to change the way of the game. And, you know, you don't have to tire them out. You know, Tibbs, we all talk about how Tibbs, you know, ran Alec Burks out there last year, 35 minutes a game. We don't need a lot of these guys to play 35 minutes a game because of their who's backing them up. You got Brunson, and you got IQ backing them up. You got RJ at the let's say Cam Reddish at the 2. Now we got I'm messing up. Let's let it go.
Yeah. Real quick, just to talk about the minute situation. Last year, the only 2 players on the Knicks squad that played over 30 minutes: Julius Randle 35, RJ 34. Kanye 29, Alex Burks 28, Mitchell Robinson 25, Kemba Walker 25, Derrick Rose 24, Manuel Quickly 23, Noel 22. And here's what people don't understand: Obi Toppin only played 17 minutes a game last year. That's why I said, you know, and you still in 17 minutes, he still gave you 9 points a game.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to give him the minutes. Now, if you want to go per 36 minutes, Obi Toppin probably giving you 17, 18 a game. You know, if you go, you know, so I think that's why it's important to figure out what we're gonna do with one of them players, man. Because I just think that the Knicks got a dilemma right there. The Derrick Rose thing, I agree with you 100% for it. You know, he could be that guy, but I think his pride won't let him do that, man. Not when he know he's one of the better players on that team. You know, that's the scary part about the Derrick Rose situation, because he know he one of the better players. And he's like, man, I still got something in me, so it's gonna be interesting what they do with that situation. I think he's gonna have to play, but it might be minute if they and none of them here when if the Donovan Mitchell thing go down, shot power. So we don't know what's gonna happen with it, but I'm looking forward to see how this thing gonna be going into training camp. I think going to training camp, the Knicks gonna be battling. There's gonna be some people competing for positions there. And I think it's going to be pretty fun to watch going into training camp. And the Cats going to be competing for sure. And I think they're looking to make that roster, that starting rotation, because you know how it is when you're situational. You ain't feeling that. Yeah, so I think they're going to be competing. Cam Reddish, I think he's going to be competing, man. He's trying to get that bag, like I said. I think he's trying to get that next contract. So you know he's going to play his butt off. You know what I mean? You can believe that. You know what I mean? If he want to be in the NBA and be one of the guys that they think he is, you know he's going to ball out next year. Because you know, he was playing for the next contract. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to be interesting with him there. So, you know, Obi, he gonna, I think they got a team option on him a year after this. So he's going to see if he's going to be able to stay in New York and get his money. So, you know, stay local, stay with his family at, stay in, you know, where you're at in Brooklyn, whatever the case may be. But he's looking to do what he want to do. So stay in New York City. So I think these guys will be hungry next year, Shy Powers. And I think IQ got a lot to prove. Grimes got a lot to prove.
I think all of them got a lot to prove. I think RJ wants to come back since he's been spited all these last couple of years of not making the All-Star team and being number 14th or 15th small forward in the league and stuff like that. I think he wants to make a big note of himself this year. I think Randall wants to come back and try to recapture some of his year in the almighty fourth seed. Salute State on that, the almighty fourth seed, to come back and play with that 24-11. I think Mitchell Robinson wants to finish up what he ended from last year and start early being a dominating center and stuff like that. So he got a lot of guys. I think Brunson has a big statement that he wants to make this year, to say that he's still a great point guard, even though he played behind Luka, that was a shooting guard that played point guard position all the time. So I think he wants to come out and show that he can facilitate. I think his assist numbers will go up this year. I think he'll be closer to 6-7 assists this year. So those are the things that I think everybody on this team, IQ, Obi, Reddish, I think all these guys, if you look at over, you know, the summer, how these guys are progressing, you look at the way these guys are working out, if you see them in a pro-am game or any type of game where you can see them, you know, showing their skills and stuff like that, these guys are playing and they're hungry, and a lot of these guys are gym rats. So I'm just ready to see these guys get together and see what they're going to do. One of the big things that I want is them to get this team together soon. September is almost here, and training camp is soon upon us, man. So I hope that however they're going to move these players, or however they're going to fixate this team to put it together, I hope they hurry up and do it, because for us as Knicks fans, for me as a Knicks fan, I want to see who we're going to have and what we're going to go into the battlefield with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk. It's going to be interesting, man. Salute to the chat again, man. Appreciate y'all hanging in with us tonight, man. We're going to get out here in a minute, get up out the house for the night, man. But we appreciate that. I'm looking forward to the season, Shop House. I really am. Looking forward to training camp. See what we're gonna do, who's gonna be there, who's gonna be in here to compete. There's gonna be a lot of competition in training camp this year. You know how some of the years used to go in there like who's gonna be the point guard, or who's gonna be fighting for the point guard position. See, this was so I love about this season. 9 out of 10, even last year, yeah, obviously we thought Kemba Walker was gonna be the main guy coming out, but this is one of them years. Think about this here. This is one time in a long time you knew who was gonna be the starting point guard for the league coming into the season. In a long time, like we know he gonna be the star. Ain't no doubt who gonna be the starting point guard for the New York Knicks. And in previous years, it wasn't like that. You know, we had to figure out who gonna beat each other out, or who good enough. Is this guy Berg Frank? I mean, it just was crazy. But now to have a guy like Jalen Brunson, who you know that right now he's a starting point guard for the New York Knicks. You know what I mean? And that's just a good feeling. You know. RJ the starting small forward right now for the New York Knicks. You know Randall and Mitchell Robinson is starting. You know that already. You know what I mean? Unless something happened. So I think the Knicks gonna be pretty solid this year. You know, a lot of chemistry, cohesion, commodities coming back to the team. I think Jalen Brunson will fit right in because he's part of that culture that's down there with Tom Thibodeau. He already know what Tom Thibodeau was about. His dad know what Tom Thibodeau about. So his transition is gonna be pretty smooth. That's one guy I could say his transition will be way smoother than Kemba Walker's and Evan Fournier's. You know, Kemba Walker because he's from the New York area made it a little bit more easier. But I think Jalen Brunson gonna have a real smooth transition with the Knicks. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to make a big difference for this team. Because like Fournier, he never played. I mean, he didn't live in New York, didn't play in New York. This wasn't his culture, so he had to come in and get acclimated and get adapted to the way New York people work. Jalen Brunson knew that already. New Brunswick, New Jersey, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. So he familiar with the surroundings. So I think it'll be a good transition for him. He out there already playing in the Bronx, getting that New York feel for the game back. But I'm looking forward to it, man. But salute to the chat, man. We appreciate y'all coming in tonight. Chop Power, man, give me your last words, my brother, and we're going to get up out of here into the next episode.
I just going to say salute to you, Divine. Salute to the chat. And as you say, I stay true to the orange and blue.
Real talk, man. Absolutely. We appreciate y'all coming in tonight, man. Real talk, man. We'll see you cats on the next episode. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a great Friday. And just first and foremost, be safe out there, man. You know what I mean? And keep it moving, man, and get it popping, man. And we'll see y'all in the next episode. Sharp Power, my brother. I'll talk to you in a few, and all that good stuff. Salute to the chat. It's where it's at. You already know, man. We appreciate y'all coming in and hanging in with us tonight, man. You already know what it is with you guys. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe. Running out the door. Tell a friend. Thumbs up. Run them up. Y'all bless the show with some subscribers and everything, where we can get to where we want to go, and we can continue bringing y'all this content and everything, man. But everybody enjoy your night, man. We'll see y'all. Peace.
Get it.
Time for Divine Shot, KJ events. This real talk is the brand. You understand how we do, my man. I'm on that Friday night Nick shit, dripping in Nick shit. Up in the world, most famous arena with a clip. That's a conglomerate. Nick's real talk is real prominent. I'm a bit like the Omicron variant, dominant. Paying homage to the cat in the chat. That's where it's at. When I'm hearing that, you don't care for how early we straight back. We interact with the mob and God. Up in the pod, the squad, with the side. My entourage be on the job, my energy. Feeling tripping in tempo as they cook my game plan and my brand for loot and pursuit. Going hard like the New York City gritty committee. Cause that's the things we know is pretty, but we all stay giddy. And we embrace the fan base, hacking links, Anthony Mace. We trace the logo when there's space that appear like square space. Staring down on the Chase Bridge, look at that Nick City drip. There's 50 dashes on the court, looking pretty legit. I stay true to the orange and blue. I thought you knew for him a few bars to shine like Star Divine to Mount Mars. Nick's real talk. Here we go, let's go.
Nick's real talk right here. I'm representing
Nick's real talk.
right here. Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
We here in the building.
Nick's real talk.
Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Nick's real talk.
We here.
Here we go, let's go.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Let's get it.